This is Ashley with WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Isekai Anime.
せっかくのファンタジー世界なのにジャージ一丁ですわ。ここは必要最低限の装備とか。
我が名はディアブロ。異世界の魔王だ。
For this list, we're going to be looking over the creme de la creme of anime's favorite subgenre. Random peeps from Japan getting dropped into a fantasy world. Think we missed an essential member of the Isekai pantheon? Let us know in the comments. And as always, you can catch me on Twitter at AshJBo. So head over there, give me a follow, and let me know which anime list you want to see next. Number 20, My Next Life as a Villainess. All routes lead to doom. Most would jump at the chance to be dropped into their favorite video game. Unfortunately, this little lady just happens to end up as the one character destined to die. In order to prevent her canonical demise, Katarina decides to go off script and become the most lovable noble around. Turns out that having an in-depth knowledge of a game, as well as being a beacon of good, will make you something of a romantic black hole, on account that it doesn't take long for everyone and their mother to start to fall in love with Katarina's new persona. Number 19, problem children are coming from another world, aren't they? Having immense psychic powers certainly takes the edge off when you're suddenly thrown into an alternate world and forced to participate in various battles to preserve your newly fashioned community. An underrated romp of a series. If you're one for watching adolescents beating the tar out of gods and cocky tyrants alike, then you're in for a good time. Between the gift games, Izayoi's absurd strength, and everything Black Rabbit does, this one is in dire need of more recognition. Number 18, Ascendance of a Bookworm. Not all isekai have to be hardcore fantasies filled with super chads and harems galore. Sometimes they can be a tranquil exploration into the wonders of reading. Awakening in the body of a 5-year-old girl, in a world devoid of literature to all except the elite, Mine endeavors to put all her otherworldly knowledge to good use in order to print her own books. If you can't get it, make it. Definitely one of the more relaxing entries in the genre, watching the eager book lover go to such lengths just to get something to read is a joy to behold, especially if you're tired of the same old formula. Number 17, So I'm a Spider, So What? It says a lot when a series manages to overcome glaring CGI and an admittedly rough start, only to go on to become a fun ride eager to demonstrate that Darwinism has got nothing on the spirit of a high school girl. Transformed into a talking, oddly cute arachnid, Kumoko is forced to pit her dangerously low-leveled webbing against a world filled with infinitely larger and more dangerous foes, a la Dark Souls. Maybe this would be a bust if not for Kumoko's unbreakable spirit and slow growth into a magical apex predator. Girl knows how to take death like a champ. Number 16, Arifureta, From Commonplace to World's Strongest. There's Edgelord, and then there's Hajime. Taking every grimdark trope imaginable and piling it into a one-eyed gunslinger with a vengeful loner complex, this once average high schooler became the very epitome of teen angst after one of his fellow isekais yeeted him into the bottom of an abyss and left him for dead.
こうなったら魔物でも何でもいい。
And you know what? It won us over.
相棒に名前をつけてやらないとな。そう、こいつの名はドンナーだ。
The unabashed pride it has in having Hajime use his magical guns to wipe out CGI monsters while slowly amassing a monster girl harem is so in your face that it's sort of impossible not to have fun with it. Number 15, Log Horizon. Another day, another anime about a guild of players trapped inside a video game. It may be a familiar premise, but trust us when we say this one perfects the basics to the point where even the traditional storyline is given new life.
This is our new reality.
Yeah, well, reality is kinda sucky.
With a delightful cast, including Master Enchanter Shiro at the helm, this series gives you everything you could possibly want from a classic fantasy tale, if the protagonists just happen to be veteran MMORPG players.
Thornbind hostage. Ah! Hey, what the hell, man?
As such, expect to see plenty of upper tier spells lighting up the screen. Number 14, Drifters. From the beautifully batshit insane mind that brought us Hellsing, this unorthodox gorefest sees prominent historical figures brought together by an omnipotent being in order to fight against some of time's deadliest villains. One moment you'll see famed swordsman Toyohisa Shimazu slicing through guards to protect a group of elves, and the next you'll have Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid gunning down orcs while escaping from a burning city. Oh, and their main foe is someone who could potentially be Jesus Christ. You have to experience this incredible insanity for yourself.
人を救おうとした。だが拒絶された。ならば人ならざる者を救い、人を滅ぼすしかない。
Number 13, The Saga of Tanya the Evil. A Japanese salaryman gets reincarnated as a 9-year-old girl and forced to fight in a magical war on behalf of pseudo-Germany because they pissed off God.
Try to survive as long as you can in your new world. If you die again, there will be no further reincarnations for you.
Welcome to Tanya's world. The crazy premise doesn't even begin to quantify just how ridiculous this series is, thankfully for all the right reasons. With a trigger finger that can drop enemy soldiers like flies and the scariest smile ever put to animation, Tanya's new life as a squadron commander is a bombastic ride from beginning to end. We honestly can't wait to see where the war takes her next.
I don't need ammo.
Number 12, How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. While maybe not as successful as some of the other gamer becomes game character isekais out there, Diablo takes the fantastical fun of the well-worn premise and throws in plenty of OP madness. And Shira! Seriously, Shira makes up 2 of the reasons why you'll have a blast with this anime.
私はシェラエル・グリーンウッド。いろいろあって冒険者になろうと思ってるんだ。
The dichotomy between Diablo's unbeatable demon lord persona and the anxiety-ridden nerd within certainly elevates him from every other brand of dime store power fantasy protagonist out there.
我が名はディアブロ。異世界の魔王だ。
Especially when he's defending his elf from low-life paladins. Number 11, Digimon Adventure. Each iteration of this beloved franchise gives us a new band of Digidestined, along with their digital partners, but to our mind, there's no beating the original group of kids who first stepped foot on the shores of the digital world.
I'm your friend, I'm your friend, I'm your friend! Just what are you?
Have you had your rabies shots?
With the power of friendship and some badass digivolutions, Tai and company have to battle against the forces of darkness in order to protect both their homes from facing deletion.
I'll stop you!
The action scenes are awesome, the dynamic between the kids is engrossing, and there's a surprising amount of heart at its core.
We did it, Ty! We did it! Yay!
Wasn't that cool, man? Great job, Sunomon.
Number 10, Cautious Hero. The hero is overpowered, but overly cautious. Now this is how you shake things up. Called upon by a goddess to save a fantasy world from oblivion, Seiya certainly has the stats and means to dispense any monster in his path. Just one problem. The boy refuses to do anything until he's properly prepared, no matter how long it takes. The gags here hit harder than Seiya backhanding the loudmouth Knight Commander. While he certainly lives up to his reputation of being able to crush anything, it's his interactions with his increasingly frazzled partner that really sells this. That and her inability to hold back her thirst.
Oh, six-pack.
Number 9, Gate. Have you ever wondered what would happen if a modern military took on the might of an empire made of dragons, elves, and magic? Well, wonder no longer. After the titular gate opens and invaders attack Tokyo, Japan sends in its task force in order to retaliate and occupy the foreign territory. If you like your characters smart, precise, and open to employing a little thing called strategy, then this one's for you. Don't get us wrong, you'll still get to see a dragon taken out by a rocket launcher, but the sensibleness that comes from the soldiers is still a breath of fresh air.
メイコンの意味がそこっすかお前俺の嫁を悪く言うと怒るよ
Number 8, No Game, No Life. Unable to be apart for a single moment without breaking down, spending every hour of every day owning people at video games, siblings Sora and Shiro really didn't have that many career prospects going their way. That is, until they find themselves transported into a fantasy world where gaming literally decides everything.
名約その6賭けは絶対遵守される
With their unparalleled skills, the two soon find themselves leading the remnants of humanity to reclaiming its former glory as its new monarchs. Guess NEETs really do have it in them to change the world.
待たせたなイマニティ同胞諸君今この瞬間我がエルキアは全世界の国に対して宣戦布告する
Number 7, Overlord. Make no mistake, this isn't exactly the story of a hero. This is the rise of one of the most powerful villains in all of creation.
何か問題がございましたか?
After finding himself trapped inside his in-game avatar, player turned unbeatable undead, Ainz Ulgon decides to employ his overwhelming power in the best way possible. Rule over everything and anything. Watching him employ his unbeatable power and a host of dynamic monster guardians, Ainz's conquest is beyond the pale of entertaining. He may be far from hateable, but the ruler of Nazarick would rather see humanity bend the knee to his will than protect the innocent, or so he likes to let on. Number 6, Sword Art Online. Yes, everyone has their opinion about this anime. What can't be denied, however, is that its polarizing status has also made it one of the most popular isekai series out there.
Oh, come on, seriously? You can't feel any pain.
Oh yeah, you're right.
After finding themselves trapped inside a virtual reality video game, future lovebirds Kirito and Asuna must band together to dungeon crawl their way to freedom, all the while taking down other players, monsters, and each other between the sheets.
こっち見ないで
Reveling in the OP-ness of its characters and some admittedly sweet fight scenes, you do well to check out this series for yourself before deciding whether its infamy is warranted or not. Number 5. Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation. This one's a bit of an anomaly, since it's both the oldest and newest isekai on the block, with the source material pioneering many of the tropes that every other titan in its genre has popularized. Rudius's transition from scum of the earth to being reborn into a world full of magic is a true trendsetter, with his anime debut blowing its lesser counterparts out the water. From Rudy's inner conflict about his past life, the gorgeous animation, top-tier fight scenes, and abundance of leading ladies, there's just too much here to love. Oh, and Ghislaine. Whew, oh boy. Number 4, Konosuba. The world is vibrant, the lore is entrancing, it looks like it would be an adventurous paradise. At least it would, just so long as you don't end up joining this particular party.
せっかくのファンタジー世界なのにジャージ一丁ですわ。ここは必要最低限の装備とか。
After suffering a less than dignified death, resident lovable douche Kazuma finds himself being transported to an RPG world where he soon finds himself embroiled with 3 ladies who are more hindering than helpful. A goddess who is utterly useless, a knight with an extreme masochistic edge, a mage who only knows how to make things blow up. Needless to say, this is the antithesis of your average fantasy anime, and it's bloody hilarious. Number 3, The Rising of the Shield Hero. It's an ugly world filled with backstabbers, betrayals, and every other kind of unpleasantries, but somebody's gotta save it. Framed for assaulting a princess, yet still forced to fulfill his duty as the shield hero, Naofumi is tossed to the wolves, paving the way for one hell of a character arc. From his initial bitterness to everyone he meets, to learning to trust again, thanks to the companionship of best girl Raptalia. Naofumi truly comes into his own, finding both redemption and duty through his deeds, and in doing so raise the bar for isekai everywhere.
それが姿勢勇者の盾の勇者の使命だから。
Number 2, that time I got reincarnated as a slime. There's world building, and then there's Rimuru slowly accumulating a country filled with monsters.
テンペストは以前に比べてとてつもなく豊かになったが、まだまだ国としては経験不足だ。
There's fancy fights, and then there's the Tempest Elite rolling in and wiping out everything in sight. In short, this slime knows how to get stuff done. Even if the transition between arcs can be a little slow at times, the progression of this former manager turned sentient blob turned leader of a nation has become one of the definitive titles that proves there's still plenty of creativity and polish to be found in the isekai cesspool, especially when it slaps hard.
神の怒りに焼き貫かれてメギド
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure to go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1, ReZero, starting life in another world. Death may not be the end of everything, but that doesn't make it any less unpleasant. Stranded in a world with danger literally around every turn, our unfortunate hero Subaru finds himself intrinsically intertwined with the fate of the land and its inhabitants.
つまりこれはひょっとして異世界召喚ってやつ
Just one little problem. Every time he dies, he is brought back in time right to the moment where he first arrived. Spoilers, he dies a lot. While the medley of gruesome deaths aren't exactly pleasant to witness, seeing Subaru overcome his suffering in order to save his new friends still makes for one hell of a watch. Plus, this show has Rem. What more do you need? But which isekai series do you like the most? Let me know on Twitter at AshJBo. Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.